Coming up on today's show.
Doing a spring cleaning and really a fall cleaning 6 months later is the best way to handle those extra projects that you don't do every week or 2 weeks in your maintenance cleaning, and yet those things are important and they need to get done.
Cleaning requires the right, in fact,
it does.
The right tools can really make or break it, can't they?
Yeah, and it's really important before you're going to have your cleaning session or sessions, because this might, depending on how large your house is, you might have a number of days or appointments that you set with yourself for that. You want to make sure everything is going to work like it's supposed to work.
Tips for spring cleaning today on Keeping You Organized. Hello and welcome to Keeping You Organized. It's springtime and it's time to clean up a little bit. In fact, we want to get ahead of the game so that we can spend some time outside. Louise Kurzika, everything's together. You're back in studio. I love it when you're in studio here because
it's fun because we get to do stuff with props.
Props.
Yes, props.
You can't do those over Skype or Google
That's
Hangout.
so easy to do.
It is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, today this is probably one of our probably one of the biggest things that people ask us about is house cleaning and around the house. Now, Smead is a company that makes file folders and things like that, office supplies, but I think this must be one of those stressful areas, right, that people think about a lot. I know we have the website content where we talk about spring cleaning and house cleaning tips, and it's always very, very visited. We get a lot of people do that. So,
well, I think the reason why, John, is because we are so busy in our day-to-day lives. We don't have stay-at-home moms and women whose careers tend to be homemakers for the entire adult life that they have. So there used to be time.
You mean June Cleaver doesn't exist anymore?
June Cleaver does not live here anymore.
Oh, man.
So that means we have to change how we approach things. And doing a spring cleaning and really a fall cleaning 6 months later is the best way to handle those extra projects that you don't do every week or 2 weeks in your maintenance cleaning, and yet those things are important and they need to get done.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about June Cleaver, how in the world does she clean her house in that dress?
I know, and with pearls.
Yeah, and pearls. So, anyway, well, that brings us to tools, because, cleaning requires the right in fact,
it does.
The right tools can really make or break it, can't they?
Yeah, and it's really important before you're going to have your cleaning session or sessions, because this might, depending on how large your house is, you might have a number of days or appointments that you set with yourself for that. You want to make sure everything is going to work like it's supposed to work. So let me just give you some examples of things that don't work so that you know, hey, I better get to the store ahead of time and replace that. So this mop, well, the brand of mop is very good, and this one has been used quite a bit. Quite a bit. And I want you to notice that there's no way up here now to hold on to a handle anymore to try to turn and squeeze this. As a matter of fact, this has become dangerous. Can you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can really hurt yourself there.
Because the handle's broken off, right?
Well, we see why the handle's broken off, because I've turned it so hard that I've actually bent the metal.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's time for me to go get a new mop.
Oh, look out. Bye-bye.
Or here's another example. I see this all the time when I'm helping clients organize their supplies in their homes. Well, there's not a lot of work that's going to come out of this little scrubby sponge. I think it's time for that to, hit the disc too.
Yeah.
But make sure you've got enough vacuum cleaner bags and really look at is my equipment all working like it should be? Brushes, scrubs, dusters, cloths, all that kind of stuff.
And the worst thing you want to do is get all set up, ready to clean, and then, honey, where's the scrubby at?
Well, I'll run to the hardware store. 4 hours later, and then you've lost your crew. So you're right. That's why you want to have everything done ahead of time. You also want to do that in regard to your cleaning products that you're using, because this is another opportunity to really look through and see, do I need all this stuff that I buy at the store? Because I see the latest thing and I think, oh, wow, this will be great. This will really work.
Scrubbing bubbles.
You really just need to make a kit of basic stuff. So what I like to encourage people to do is get a tote like this, something portable. Or my favorite is if we find that the client has a bucket.
I don't think anybody has an extra bucket laying around, though, Louise. Do you think there's...
I think there is. and you know why? Because there's always a bucket that somehow got a little cut or tear in it, and it won't hold water anymore.
But they couldn't throw it away.
So so make it work then. Instead of just holding on to it, have that be your portable carry piece. And some of the basics you need, you're going to need an all-purpose cleaner. And a tip here, you can save a lot of money on all-purpose cleaners by going to your hardware store and buying the big gallon jug of all-purpose cleaner. It's a non-branded thing, or it'll be the hardware store brand. And it's concentrated. So I get my little spray bottle and I put in how much I need for the size of the bottle, fill up the rest with the water, and I'm now not paying for water.
Pennies on the dollar, right?
Exactly. You can have it last you for years, and it will work well. And this replaces a lot of those brand name products that are all-purpose. And all-purpose, John, just means that it's neutral. It's not alkaline. It's not acidic. It's a neutral.
And it works on a variety of surfaces.
And it's not going to do any damage to the surface. So that's kind of key and important. Another thing you're going to need is window cleaner. And of course, you can also buy this in concentrates if you like.
And you only need like a couple drops of the concentrate usually, right?
You really don't need very much. It's really a smart way to go. And now you can start to purge out all those extra, I thought this would be great for that surface, this would be great for that surface. Ammonia is another great general purpose cleaner. It's a degreaser. So all those products that say, hey, we'll degrease your stove and all that, ammonia and water will do the same thing. So you can really make it easier. I like to also include a little fabric and upholstery cleaner because this is our chance to really look at the upholstery close up. See those little spills, treat them.
And while you're going around, you have it with you. You can just do it, and it's right there with you.
And of course, it's got to work for a little while. So then you can let it set, go work on to something else, then come back to it and finish. And of course, you're probably going to do some wood polishing too. So again, I haven't found many generic type products for that. So I think find your best one, but always remember when you're using a wood cleaner, you don't ever want to spray it directly on the wood. You want to spray the polish on a cloth that then you polish the wood with, because you end up with too much in one spot. Otherwise, what you want to do is be able to gently smooth it across the entire surface. So you see how easy this is to carry along, or this filled with those things, and you can add your cleaning cloths and so forth, and you're really in a great shape, ready to go.
Now, do you have any tips for cleaning cloths? Kinds of things that you can use?
I do. Some of my favorite for doing dusting and for cleaning mirrors are either the microfibers that are very popular now, or the good old-fashioned baby diapers.
Yes, I know. We had cloth diapers when our kids were growing up, so we still use them now for the cleaning cloth.
I do too, because they don't leave a lot of lint. And they absorb the cleaner, or the polish, and they really let you be very careful about how you distribute it. And then they launder, and you use them again. I'm a big fan of using products that are not of the disposable nature that are out there all over the place now, because I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm an environmentalist, but I'm looking at sustainability.
It's smart to do that, right? And then you could take those.
You save money.
And you just put
they're
them
very
in your
expensive.
washing machine, and you got a fresh pile.
Little tip: when you're laundering your cleaning cloths, it's a good idea to launder them separate from other kinds of clothing or towels and such that you would be running through the laundry. And then when you get to the drying phase, do not use the softener sheets or fabric softener in the liquid stage in washing, because that's going to put a coating on that fabric, and it's again not going to be able to absorb the way that you want to. For other cleaning cloths, I think a great choice are what they call bar towels. You've probably seen them at places like your big discount stores or big box stores, and you can get like a packet of about
10 of them or whatever.
Exactly. You could buy those and have them for about 10 years because again, you're going to launder them after each session that they've been used, so you're not going to have a deterioration of soap breaking down those fibers if you wash them right away. And then for just basic washcloths, white washcloths. So wherever you can get the cheapest stack of white washcloths. And the reason we like white, of course, for all these things, because if they do get stained, they can be bleached.
Right.
And then get white again. And the biggest reason why I like to use white is you see the dirt come off.
Yes.
You get that excitement of, yes, I'm glad I did
reward.
this. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Just like when you check something off a list,
Right.
you get that visual reminder that, hey, I'm really cleaning. I've gotten something here that needed to get cleaned off.
Okay.
And I feel good about it.
Good. Any other tools like essentials? I know some people like to use aprons, right?
Yeah, you know what? An alternative to this, or maybe an addendum to this, is the products can be carried in here. But if you wear an apron, now with that you can add in your cleaning cloths.
Right.
You might have a duster that is on a loop. You might even have a timer with you, so that you can make sure you don't spend too much time in each room, because you don't have, all day. You have a set amount of time, and we'll talk about that with planning coming up.
Well, that's a perfect time to take a break here, because
good.
we've got all the tools together, right?
Yeah,
Now
and the products.
And we are going to work the plan now. So
all right.
Let's take a breather here. We're going to take a quick break. We're with Louise Kurzika talking about spring cleaning tips. And when we come back from the break, we're going to find out how we do it. So we'll be right back.
Would your family be able to easily access your important documents for a major life event? Having your key life documents organized helps ensure that your wishes and assets are managed, retained, and distributed as needed while being less stressful for you and your loved ones. The Life Documents Organizer Kit helps you to organize and store key life documents like wills and trusts, healthcare directives, investment and retirement plans, marital documents, key personal contacts, and more. Life events that might trigger a need for these documents include a health condition where someone may need to take over certain responsibilities, or decisions regarding care or communicating your wishes regarding your assets. And access to these important documents is key. The Smead Life Documents Organizer Kit is divided into 6 color-coded sections. Each section contains individual folders that pertain to that section. The Smead Wheel of Organization provides an easy reference and guide to recommend what documents should be stored within each section. The Life Documents Organizer Kit has the flexibility to expand by adding additional categories that are specific to your own situation. Being prepared can alleviate your own stress and the stress of others. Keep your life and the documents that matter most in order with the Life Documents Organizer Kit. From Smead, keeping you organized.
We are back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about spring cleaning tips with Louise Kurzika. Everything's together, and Louise, we've talked about the tools now.
Yep.
Now it's time for the rubber to hit the road, right? How do we actually get the motivation, get the excitement to get this thing done?
I'm glad you asked, because, as an organizer, I love plans.
Yep.
I love to know
think so.
what's the direction going to be that we're going to go.
Right.
And when you're taking on spring cleaning, that's when you really do need a plan, because it's not going to be a routine like you're used to. When you clean the bathroom each week, you kind of know the routine. You don't necessarily have to have a checklist.
Right.
But it would be great to have a checklist to remember what are the things that we need to do. Right. And who do you think came up with a really good checklist?
Boy, if I were to think about where I could get a spring cleaning checklist, how about Smead.com/checklist?
I think so.
There we go. This is just one of many
Through
we have.
Smead Ergonomics, there's this wonderful spring cleaning checklist. Yeah. And it does for you what a brain dump would do if you had to try to think of, okay, what are all the things, all the surfaces, all the maintenance that I don't do regularly. It's all listed by area: outdoors, garage, storage shed, kitchen, dining room, bathrooms, bedrooms, and so forth throughout the whole house.
Now, what we have to tell my wife, though, is that this is not one day's work. She thinks we got the checklist. This is the to-do list for today, okay? No. This might take you many days,
Well,
right?
this is why you want to enlist the family
to
help you with this.
You don't know my kids, though.
Well, this is where it's really important then to have a specific amount of time you're going to do it. As a matter of fact, I love having a little reminder like this. You can take a nice dry erase board, and we can say, Family Spring Cleaning Day is going to be on from these hours. Now, you could add to this, at the end of our cleaning session, we will celebrate by, and then
bribe
figure out what is it your family gets excited about. If they're littler kids, maybe a pizza party and a movie is fun. Older kids, maybe it's, hey, we're going to earn our way towards an overnight at the Marriott in the middle of winter so that we can go swimming and then go over to the Mall of America shopping. It depends on what they're interested in.
That's nice.
So whatever it is, and it can be a one thing or it can be building towards something big. I worked with a family that actually worked into the weekly chores as well as spring cleaning.
Nice.
How to earn a trip to Disney World.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the kids were ranged from 5 to 12.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that they could do on a regular basis, as well as this family cleaning. But this is important first. Rally the troops and get them interested. Let them know, get it on their calendars. Everybody clears it. Then decide what's going to be done.
Right.
And one of the things that you can do is highlight. I like to put the checklists in these Smead Poly Pocket organizers project files that are clear and see-through for a couple reasons. One is it lets you see what you want to plan. You could put somebody's name or initial on here next to it with a dry erase. But more importantly, you can make one of these for each person as they go into a room.
Right.
And then as they complete each thing on the list, you take your dry erase and I mark in my little circle that's here.
Yeah.
And then I can do one down here, and I'll let you see. The best part is when everything has gotten all done or whatever was planned, then this can be wiped off with a tissue, little water with a tissue, and you can use it again.
Nice. That is a great idea.
Yeah, so again, we don't have to keep printing things out. And we know that if we're cleaning, there's going to be water involved. So this is going to, if it's just paper, it's going to get wet, it's going to get messy, it's going to get spilled on.
And you can use it over and over again, too.
Right, and it's harder to lose something when it has a little more thickness and tangibleness like this rather than just a piece of paper.
Wonderful.
So I think that works out really, really well. As I said, you've got the date and who's going to do those things here, so that makes it for a great assignment in getting people involved to do their part in each of the rooms.
We'll have a link to that in our show notes as well. And for those listening, if you go to smead.com/podcast, they can find out the notes for this show, or smead.com/checklist. I mean, that's how you're going to find
just
these.
search
we
through
got them for all kinds of things, but for spring cleaning, this is a great one.
There must be more than 20 or 25 of them. I use them all the time.
Yeah.
They're really helpful with my clients because we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right, right. Anything else you got for us?
Yes. Now, again, to keep the focus for people who are going to be in a room, you've got this, but you also might think about a tool like this, which is your guide in the room. Right. And in actuality, this also shows us a cleaning tip as well. So I've got on this checklist, sparkle the ceiling light, duster away the cobwebs, clean the surface of the artwork, dust the lampshades, again, something we don't do very often, polish the wood tables, vacuum the upholstery, wipe the fireplace tile.
Nice.
So I've got a place there and a little dry erase again that as people are in the room, they have their list of what they're doing. But what this also helps us see is when we clean in a room, we want to start at the top and work to the bottom, right?
Nice.
We start up in the ceiling with the light fixtures, and then we come on down the walls and go to the next level, the next thing to clean, and on and on. And then the last thing would be to vacuum or clear the floor space after having moved furniture and so forth.
Nice.
The other tip is that you can also decide, am I going to work from the left and go around the room to the right once I've gotten off of the ceiling, or am I going to start at the right and go to the left?
Right.
You just want to be consistent one way or the other.
Yep.
Otherwise, if you're randomly going from here to here to here to here, you're less efficient with your time. And again, you want to get the most done that you can within this spring clean time.
Absolutely. No, that's a great tip.
Now, one of the things that I like to remind people of is that there might be follow-up action to what you come across. Maybe as you're working the upholstery, you're finding, boy, you know, that leg is loose. We need to get that repaired. Might be a great idea to have just a little notebook with you that you can jot down, in this room, here's some follow-up. In this room, here's some follow-up.
Nice.
And then plan that into your calendar for the next, couple of months, so that by the time you get 6 months from now to the next spring cleaning or
the fall cleaning.
That you can remember that it got done, and you're not like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or every time you sit in the chair, oh yeah, that's a little wobbly, I got to fix that. You give yourself an actionable list.
That's awesome. Well, we're just about out of time, but before we go, I want to ask you a little bit about your business.
Sure.
Everything's together. Get your website, and also what kind of clients you work with? I know you're in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, but you can work virtually too?
I do, as a matter of fact. So Louise Krzyzka, Everything's Together, everythingstogether.com.
Okay.
Folks can call too. 952-939-8080 is the
Wonderful.
phone. I tend to work with people who are challenged by organization for reasons that are neurobiological or mental health related.
Okay.
So that might be ADHD, that might be having had a stroke or some other kind of brain issue.
Okay.
Could be depression, could be anxiety, and even hoarding disorder.
Right.
And so those people can be of a variety of different ages, and they can be in a variety of different places in their life. But usually it's people who are motivated for a change.
Right.
They are ready
also,
for something to happen.
And you're also part of the National Association of Professional Organizers. So if you can't
am.
help somebody, you have a referral network that you can.
And that's great. And I've used that many, many times. Fortunately, right now I'm working with a client virtually who's in the Florida area. Actually, she found me through the podcast.
Oh,
one
really?
of our podcasts.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so we've had a few virtual sessions. And because I traveled to Florida, what luck would have it, we're actually going to be able to do some hands-on sessions when I'm there as well.
Hopefully in the wintertime, right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is going to be in the wintertime. So if I can't do the hands-on piece, I look to the NAPO network to try to find a person who could do the hands-on work. And it's interesting how much you can do virtually.
Yeah.
A lot of it is time management, task management, getting a good accountability in place. I've had some coaching training, and so I apply that to a lot of our work. And really enjoy helping clients that are in need of someone to really understand who they are without judgment, and who can guide and care them at their pace.
Right, and a lot of it is empowering people to do you're not going to come and clean their house. You're going to empower them to learn how to do it with the right strategies and the right tools. That's
exactly right, by using some of the things we've talked about here, and then holding them accountable on a week-to-week basis.
Great. Well, Louise, thank you so much. It's been great as usual. I love the props, and
thank you,
we'll have you back again. So there you go, folks. You should have a nice, sparkling, clean house and get ready to enjoy the summer just in time to get back for the fall cleaning, which will be another episode. So we'll see you next time on Keeping You Organized.
Coming up next time on Keeping You Organized.
One of the biggest mistakes I find that people make, even if I'm just on the beach and talking to someone and they tell me they run their own business as, a massage therapist, is that they don't tailorize and tie together their time. They just feel like they're working all the time.